Welcome to this lesson about the structure of your course and lessons. Here is the high-level overview of how the course creation process regarding the structure looks like. You're going to list out the main steps that someone will need to achieve the outcome that you developed before. So away from pain towards pleasure. So from A to B, the better future. And the pain can be, for example, that I don't know how to start a podcast, okay? So this is the pain point of your potential audience. And they want to go to the pleasure, the better future. And this is that they have a successful podcast. And now it's your job to fill in the gap, to build the bridge from A to B. And you do this by defining certain outcomes that need to be fulfilled or to be achieved in order to go from A to B. Outcome number one could be, for example, get an idea for a podcast. And then outcome number two might be create a professional podcast setup. Outcome number three might be get guests for your podcast. Number four, distribute and market your podcast. And number five, to get sponsors for your podcast in order to monetize it. And if you really reached all these outcomes, they will probably have a successful podcast, okay? And each of these outcomes is your module. This is a module within your course. Of course, you can just have, I don't know, maybe 3 outcomes, or maybe you need 8 outcomes. So this varies, but just keep this in mind. Each outcome should be a module. So let's do another example. Let's say the pain is that you hate your job and you want to start your own business. Okay? So an own business that really brings in money on autopilot, ideally, so you don't have to work anymore. So the pleasure in this case would be to have a profitable online business that works for me. So what you do now is, again, you define the outcome. Outcome number one could be to have a profitable and validated business idea. Then outcome number two might be to create a stellar online business. Number three, to get the word out about your business, so all the marketing and promotion. Number four, to sell your product or service properly. Number five, then to scale your online business or to scale and automate. Okay, and if somebody, once again, gets all these outcomes, they will have a profitable online business that works for them. So now let's take a look on how you can then structure your lessons. So you basically do the same like we had before for the course structure, but now we just create another structure for each module. So in this case, you take outcome number one. In our example, that would be to have a profitable and validated business idea, and then define the steps that are needed in order to achieve this outcome. In order to actually achieve outcome number one, to have a profitable and validated business idea, your steps, so your lessons can be research business ideas. Step number two, analyze the market. Step number three, conduct a competitor analysis. Step number four, to conduct surveys and interviews of potential prospects. And step number five, to do a pre-sale test. Okay, and if somebody really does all these steps, then they will get outcome number one. So each step is now a lesson. So the outcomes before are your modules, and each step becomes a lesson for your module. And once again, of course, if you have just 3 steps, that's fine. Or maybe you have 10 steps, that's fine as well. But always try to go to reach an outcome in as straight or in as, kind of as straight as possible. And then what you do, again, you turn all outcomes into the modules and the modules into the lessons. And what I like to do is that I basically just take a Google Sheet and I list it all in there. So for me, I really like to have this kind of overview. So I take each column, like each column is a module. For example, column A is a business idea model, column B would be the business building, and so on. And then I write down the lessons that I need. So on a glance, I have, or at a glance, I have everything I need. And what I do additionally is I add some additional outcomes, because it of course always depends. Sometimes people need something, or I want to give them something special or some kind of bonus lessons, and I want to get them some side outcomes, so to say. So I always add some side additional outcomes that make the course more comprehensive and better. When creating the lessons, we usually face the curse of knowledge though. So here I wanted to address some common mistakes or things you should just be aware of in order to create a good course. So once you have a certain knowledge about a topic, it's very difficult to remember what it was like not knowing it. We are often blind to our own knowledge and skills. It feels just so normal to us. And this phenomena is also called the imposter syndrome. This is when people think I'm a fraud or I'm not good enough. We often really undervalue what we already know. And this can lead to the boring teacher syndrome as well. A teacher who just cannot believe that people know so little about a topic and who's therefore making lessons that are way too complex, difficult, and usually boring. And this is also not good. Another problem is the information trap. People think they need to put everything they know in there. But the more you put in, the more time and effort it takes to create it. Also, people don't want to buy courses to get information. People buy outcomes. People try to reach a certain point. So create an outcome-oriented course and cut all the fluff and fillers. Actually, one of the main reasons that people buy courses is to avoid information overload. Really, only focus on the process of removal rather than addition. Only select what really matters for your students to reach the desired outcome. Just think of a bodybuilding course that helps people to get fit fast. You could include anatomy, human body, bone structure, muscles, tendons, and so on. But in the end, the students want to get fit as soon as possible. They don't want to hear theoretical lectures where you show them what you know. Always think outcome first. The more non-essential information we add, the longer the distance between the students and the outcomes they want. All right, and now start creating your course and a lesson structure. You can actually simply download the structure sheets that you can fill out on your computer, or you can simply print them out.